my biggest thing is treat people the way you want to be treated. And that goes a long way.
Hello and welcome to Center for Victory's podcast of Your Best Day Yet. At Center for Victory, we are here to help unlock, reinforce, and enrich relationships through personal and professional development. I'm excited for our guest today, Brian Weismantle. I know the guys here were excited to have you come in, and we're going to talk about kind of your history in not only law enforcement, but the military, private investigator, and what you're doing now, which is running for Allegheny County Sheriff. And so we're excited to talk to you, get to know you a little bit, and hear your story. So thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Caleb. Nice to be here. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the work that you do with your organization. And I want to thank everyone here for giving me the opportunity to come in and speak with you guys. And I look forward to just sharing my history and everything about myself and the fact that I am running for Allegheny County Sheriff to bring good things to Allegheny County. That's my goal.
Awesome. I love it. And one of the things we were talking about just before we even started was just the connections of, like, one of the reasons that I love doing this is I get to meet really interesting and really awesome people that are doing really cool things. And that's kind of just spiderwebbed into meeting more and more people. And so if you go back and watch our episode with Joe Sweeney, you and Joe used to work together. And Joe's the one that introduced us, and so that's that. I mean, just the connections of people that you get to meet from doing this has been really fun for me.
Right? Yeah, and I agree. It's been pretty interesting for me as well. Joe and I did work together for the City of Pittsburgh Police Department. He obviously left and went to the federal agency. I remained there for 25 years total, and I started this campaign. I got my social media sites together. And believe it or not, after 20-some years, Joe reached out. We connected again, and here I am. I mean,
I love it.
It's great stuff.
I love it. Well, let's go back in time, because you're a Pittsburgh native. You're a born and raised Pittsburgher, right?
Correct.
And,
yes.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. So let's. Did you grew up on the north side? Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
I'm one of 8. My mother raised all 8 of us herself. Give her a ton of credit. She's no longer with us. But grew up on North Side. I still live there. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And the city's been my home, and it's going to remain my home.
Is your wife? Is she from Pittsburgh?
Correct. Yes, my wife's from Pittsburgh also, and we have 2 daughters. One just recently graduated college, and the other one will be a senior in the fall.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So, excuse me. So you started your public service career at 17 years old, is that right?
Correct. When I was in high school, myself and a bunch of buddies decided we were going to join the Army National Guard.
Yeah.
So it was kind of something funny at the start of it, and we remained there together for 6 years. At that point, I went over to the Air Force Reserve, which was in about I finished up in 89, joined in 83, finished the Army 89. Went over to the Air Force Reserve in 90, the 9/11th here locally.
Yep.
And I was in there for about a year and a half. That's when I got hired with Pittsburgh Police. Actually, I was hired with Pittsburgh Police while I joined there. And then for a police officer, typically you're off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday when you start your career. And at that point, we had 1,200 officers in a city.
Okay.
I mean, it was amazing. Now we're down to 650, and that's what's creating a lot of our problems locally. After that, I stopped my military career for a few years because of the hiring with the Pittsburgh Police and not being off on weekends, because obviously we're required to attend weekend drills. And so I put that off for a few years, and I was going to rejoin. I got injured, and I had to wait a little longer. So back in 1990, I joined again with the 171st Air Refueling Wing. And I remain a member there to this day. I will be retiring this month, and that'll bring a close to 33 years of military service.
Wow! Thank you for your service. Congratulations. That's a heck of a career, and I know So when you joined the Pittsburgh Police, my brother-in-law Jonah, shout out Jonah, he might be listening sometime and see this, but he just started as a Pittsburgh police officer.
Oh wow, good for him.
And so he's really excited. Our family's really excited for him. And I work with a lot of police officers, first responders, and so I know the shift work that goes into that. And so we have guys that'll, come in, work out at our facility, and then boom, right onto the shift. So when you first started, what was your role with the Pittsburgh Police Department?
When I first started, I worked out in Zone 5, which was Homewood, East Liberty, Bloomfield, Lawrenceville. I began there in 1990. That was the fall of 90 because we started our class in April of 1990, graduated, I believe it was around August. And then I was at Zone 5 for almost 2 years. One of my crazy assignments was I worked the beat. I walked the beat actually in Homewood, at Rosedale and Tioga, which was probably one of the worst streets in Pittsburgh. And here's me, just a young, dumb guy at 24, with a 6-shot revolver, walking a beat at one of the probably worst locations in Pittsburgh at the time.
Yeah. Can we talk about that? I mean, that's so, yeah, I mean, just talk about that experience and, learning from that. And I mean, I'm sure that every day you'd be, I don't know, I would be nervous. I don't know, how you feel going into that.
It was different. But again, I was young and dumb, but, I was street smart because I grew up in the city.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew how to protect myself and just be careful of things. And I was working the 4 to midnight shift, so 4 p.m. to 12 midnight. Okay. So it wasn't like I was working daylight shift walking a beat. I mean, this was the time when it was busy.
Right.
People in and out all the time. It seemed like they kind of respected me. They didn't bother me. I didn't bother them.
Right.
Everything was good. I got through the day, and I'm still here.
Good.
So that's a good thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So then from doing that, how did you move into, did you go into homicide detective after that?
After that, I went into narcotics for about a year and a half or so. And one thing that always comes to mind is kind of funny is I was actually doing undercover buys.
Okay.
And I was doing that on the north side on Federal Street.
Okay.
In one of the bars. And believe it or not, I was on the program Cops when I was in uniform out in Zone 5.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so that episode's still out there.
Oh, man, we should have got that, put that little clip, put it in the show. All right.
But, that's still there. And the crazy thing is I'm sitting at the bar.
And this is the neighborhood you grew up in.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're
it's
doing
probably 10 blocks away from where I grew up.
Yeah.
And, I'm sitting there, you have a little growth and you just wear, some dirty work clothes kind of thing. But the cop episode comes on the TV while I'm sitting at the bar.
Oh, my gosh.
And it was really weird. But the guy at the time, I gave him some money to go do the buy. And so he was out of the bar, which was a good thing.
Yeah, when the episode came on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he comes back, I get the crack and we process it, submit it, and all that kind of stuff. But it was it worked out really well, uneventful.
Yeah, I feel like that would be my luck is the first the first time I go and do this. There's an episode and you're on the TV and
and that's the last thing I ever thought was gonna happen.
That guy looks oddly familiar on there. Yeah, I've never seen him before.
But so from there I did that. I did narcotics for about a year and a half or so, roughly, and then I went into the burglary and fraud section.
Okay.
Which was in the investigative branch. Did that for a little over a year or so, and but one of the interesting things there was we had, I don't know if you remember, you may be a little too young for this, but we had a group they were referred to as the gypsies. Okay. And they would come around and do gypsy scams where they would knock on your door and say, hey, we're the water department. They targeted older folks because they could, they're already a little bit confused, a lot of them, and very trustworthy, and they don't think people are going to scam them or anything. So they would knock on the door, and keep the person, occupied, and then one of their other people would come in the door and, just go through the house and steal their jewelry, cash, whatever, because, older folks had a habit of storing cash in the home.
Right. I'm just like thinking that makes me so mad, those type of scams against older folks. Like, I feel like it's like once every 2 weeks, my mom, she'll just screenshot some and send it to me, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's a scam. Like, don't don't do that. And especially with everything with the like everything's digital now, like
Right.
the texting. And I know that there was a big one on the turnpike tolls. People, they're texting
one
you for the
yesterday,
turnpike
yep.
tolls, and it's just like, golly.
You better pay this, or when you hit the toll, you're getting stopped and you're
Yeah.
going to be charged like
Yeah.
outrageous money.
Which that one was really interesting. I actually, how I found out that was a scam originally, I was driving to Nebraska, and I was taking Interstate 80. I was on the on the was it 80, and I think I was in Ohio, and I was in one of those like little plazas, and they had over the speakers, they were talking about the scam, like if you get a text message, it's not legit. So I don't mean to digress in that direction.
Well, it's just good that your mom has you available to
Right.
do that. A lot of folks don't have someone to reach out to, and that'll lead me to one of the things that I want to do with the sheriff's office. But it's great to have that resource.
Yeah.
And but what I was getting to with the gypsy scam is because older folks, it's a little more harder to get a case through court with them making identifications and stuff. So with the DA's office and the Pittsburgh Police obviously authorizing it, we were able to work out a deal where we got these folks. I'm guessing the number. I think it was like $15,000 or $20,000 back.
Wow.
And that recovered. It was about 5 or 6 victims, but we had a lot more than that.
Yeah.
And one of them was an old World War II vet or World War I vet. He lived up in I forget the area, but it was in the city of Pittsburgh. And he would save money to go to his reunion every year.
Yeah.
And that was money that he lost there, but we were able to get that back for him.
Oh,
he was
good,
one of our
yeah.
victims. So that was a good feeling. And but then from there, it led me into homicide,
Yeah.
which is where I retired out of.
So what's the, what's that transition like? I mean, is it?
Well, I mean, obviously, I had a lot of investigative experience behind me leading
Right.
up to that. It was a nice transition in. I got to go to the PA State Police. They had an investigator's course, which was a week long. I was
Okay.
able to attend that, which was helpful. And then a lot of it's just learning, from the guys in the office. We had a lot of great investigators, picking their brains and just, going with your
And
common sense stuff. It's
Yeah.
really what it is. It's about common sense.
so, and I read you have had over 1,000 homicide cases. Is that accurate?
Yeah, death investigation cases, yes, because we did drug overdoses, we did
Okay.
auto accidents, industrial accidents, anything that resulted in death, we were called out on. When the convention center collapsed in downtown Pittsburgh, that was one of my cases.
Wow. And how many other homicide detectives were there at this time when you were doing this?
When I
role?
first went in, I think we had like 18. I mean, we had a lot. I was one. Yeah, I think it was 18, and I was that 18th person out of we had like 1,100 on the job at the time. So I was selected from that group to step in to fill that open slot.
Wow. Well, I know you're a pretty humble guy. I was doing some research. I saw that in 2011 you won an award for the exemplary homicide prosecution. You mind talking about that, kind of what that
That was
entailed?
probably the worst case Pittsburgh has ever seen. That's
Okay.
when 3 of our officers were killed.
Okay.
Paul Scholo II, Stephen Maley, and Eric Kelly. And these guys, they got a call for a domestic. It was early in the morning on a Saturday. And I was actually in my reserve base that day and received a phone call about it. So immediately my colonel was like, Brian, get out of here. In fact, he released all of our city officers to head back to, work. So obviously things were already in motion and rolling along when I arrived. But, we did what we could while things unfolded. And then our SWAT team was able to get this guy in custody.
Yeah.
I don't want to name him because they don't deserve to be named.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
Anyway, so while we were there and things were, I don't want to say settled down, but once we got him in custody, myself and my partner at the time, we were selected to take over the case to basically oversee the investigation, which we did. And that includes processing it, handling of evidence. Well, the team would do the interviews and stuff in the investigation, but then, we would oversee everything with that. And then the evidence, like I said, that type of thing. And then we prepared that with the DA's office for trial, which, obviously come up a little bit later.
Yeah. Hey everyone, Caleb Kolb here with AMP Adventures. Today we are out in Glacier National Park in Montana. We're just a couple miles south of Canada. There's some beautiful views here. This is Kinnerly Peak, Kitla Peak, Mount Peabody. So it's been a great trip so far. If you're interested on any of our adventures, check out the Experiences tab. See you on the trail. That's really heavy. I mean, it's really heavy stuff because you know those guys. They were your brothers, I'm sure. And I know one of the things that's my dad and I talk about this a lot. So we started our nonprofit 10 years ago. Actually, we're 10 years old now, and we primarily work with veterans and first responders, like I said. And I mean, the majority of the guys that are going through, we have a 10-week program. And it's really focused on both physical and mental health services, right? And trying to end this stigma, especially for men, to ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. And so, we combine transcranial magnetic stimulation, one-on-one talk therapy, and physical wellness. And basically compiled into a 10-week comprehensive treatment plan. I think for us, our mission was, we don't need more SSRIs. We don't need more antidepressants. Like, we wanted to, use research-backed, holistic modalities to help people, increase resiliency and physical mental health. And one of the things that's been difficult for our team to kind of manage is you take a lot of that home. We see guys that have, one of our guys has a bullet hole. He was shot in the head. We have guys that are just learning to walk again, some that'll be in wheelchairs for the rest of their life, guys that are dealing with depression and trauma and anxiety to the point where their home life is on the brink of collapse. And it's like, I know for our team, I commend our team that's working one-on-one with the clients. I'm kind of behind the scenes, but I know that that's really heavy for them, and they take that home with them. And like, how do you process that? I mean, I'm sure you're taking this stuff home with you every night, and your wife's, I don't know what her, what she would say, or do you try to leave it at the office and kind of like compartmentalize it?
Right. Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for what you're doing for our veterans and first responders, because it is much needed. I would say I'm probably one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
I was the guy, and it's probably because I had a lot to do on the outside. I could walk out the door and leave it there.
Yeah.
Which is probably saying that generically, because I'd still walk out and answer the phone, answer calls,
Yeah, my wife's still trying to teach me about work-life balance.
Right.
Like that, I can't call an employee at 8:30 at night. Like if I have a question, I'm getting better, learning that self-awareness piece.
Yeah, no, it's hard. And it's even worse with the police department because, we have victims' families that, have questions and would like answers. And I mean, if it's 7 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night, I mean, I always took the calls.
Yeah.
I didn't, it's just what I did because these people deserve answers, and whatever we can do to help get them through, it always made it a lot better.
And I know that probably means so much to the families that they're able to call at 7 p.m. They probably don't expect an answer, and, you pick up the phone and have a conversation with them.
I was big on that. I mean, if someone called me, I either answered the phone or I got back to you as quick as I could, just because if I were in that position, I would expect the same.
Yeah.
And I think people deserve that. The families deserve that.
So I want to touch a little bit on one more of your kind of career with you have a private investigator practice yourself, right? The BW Investigative Services, correct?
Correct. It's BWIS. It's Brian Weismantle Investigative Services. I've had that since I retired in 2005.
Okay.
2015. And I've been doing that. It's crazy. I try to stay away from criminal work because, if cases, I've done some criminal work, but depending on the circumstances, I should say, because I'm not going to go against, like prosecutor, stuff like that, just because I know that they do things as best they can, and they're not out to shortchange anyone or try to, lie about anything, just to get a case through or whatever. So I kind of steer away from that. But yeah, I've done, a lot of civil work, more civil than anything, locating witnesses for attorneys, law firms, that type of thing. Like slip and fall cases, do that type of stuff. But again, a lot of attorney work. I always get the call for, hey, do you do family stuff? And I do some. And they're like, well, we want you to follow our spouse or something. And I'm like, look, if you're calling me for that, you probably already know the answers.
Right.
And so I probably, I'll spend sometimes an hour, 2 hours on the phone with people. And it's just because, and it's free of charge, I don't say, well, you owe me. I just want to try to help people get through their worst days. For lack of
I think that's
a better way to put it.
pretty obvious given your career from 17 until now. That's kind of been a focus of you, is just help protect and
just
serve.
Try to do the best I can for people.
Yeah,
I know if I'm in that situation, I would like some help, and it's not always about money.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's kind of talk about that. So, you started when you were 17. You've been in community, protecting the public and community service since then. What are some of the things, kind of like values and things that you've learned, as you transition into running for Allegheny County Sheriff? And we'll get there in a minute. But just kind of some of the, key things that, like, all right, I've learned this, and this is how I live my life now, kind of those values and your rocks. Yeah,
and I think I was probably grew up that way, whereas, my biggest thing is treat people the way you want to be treated, and that goes a long way.
The golden rule, that's right.
It is.
Yeah.
And it works. I mean, you should learn that in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Or even before that. And it does work. It makes a huge difference in everything that you do. And, just when you do that, I think your integrity just gets stronger and stronger. And, you just grow and be a better person. You treat people more, better and more responsibly. And again, you treat people the way you want to be treated until they determine otherwise. And when you cross that bridge, whether it's, hey, you have to go to jail or, whatever the case may be. One of the nice things in law enforcement is you have a lot of discretion. And that's what you learn. Everyone doesn't have to go to jail.
Right.
Depending on the circumstances again. But, you just learn and, just try to do better as you go day by day.
Yeah. Yeah. So now you're retired. You retired in what year did you retire before you started your?
Well, I retired from the police department in 2015.
Okay.
And then I started the PI business that same year.
Okay.
And also still serving in the military during that whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, explain to me kind of the transition of now running for Allegheny County Sheriff. Did you come home and tell your wife, and she's like, "You're doing what?" Like how did that go? What kind of pushed you into, all right, this is where I feel I'm being called to, and why'd you feel that way? And
my wife's always very supportive. In fact, she's pushing me out the door to do more.
That's awesome. So, yeah, I love it.
Which is good. I mean, she supported me the whole way through, and because it was a long 25 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd work 12, sometimes 16 hours a day. And I probably shouldn't say this, but we did. We've worked 24 hours at times, a couple of times. And again, at that particular time, we had 2 cases rolling. And you roll with your investigation. I mean, if you got things that are hot, you got to run with it.
Get it right now, yeah.
And that's what we did. So, and it's amazing how you get the energy, when things are flowing.
Yeah.
And it was like, sleep, who needs sleep? You know what I mean? It's not even out there. It's just, you just run with what you have and you continue on. And that was the greatest. But yeah, very supportive. I'm aware of some things at the office that are going on in the sheriff's office currently. I don't get negative. I'm not going negative, but I just want to make positive change because we all deserve it. All citizens in Allegheny County, we pay a lot of taxes, and we just need to do better. We need to do better, and we can do better, and that's what got me into this running for the office.
So when did you make that decision? Like, all right, we need somebody, and I'm going to be that guy and do that.
Yeah, well, interestingly enough, I wasn't really paying attention because I wasn't thinking about running for office at first, but then I was reminded that this year was election year for the sheriff's office, and no one was running. So I said, well, we can't have that. We need to run good candidates, and we just can't let someone sit in a seat without any competition.
Right.
So that was part of it. So actually, this was in February. Signatures started a week later, and I'm like, okay. And there were 500 signatures required, and I'm like, wow, because you only have 3 weeks, I think,
to get 500 signatures.
Yeah, and then depending on the weather, it's tough.
I feel like we could do a whole show just on like how you go about doing that.
Shows.
Yeah.
But just to so I started that, and I start making committee meetings, meeting people, and getting signatures, and we have a lot of great people throughout Allegheny County that I learned, and it's been a good experience. So again, I was midway through it, and I was at signature 300, and I'm like, man, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
So my goal was to get 800 signatures, and I said, because what they can do is they'll contest your signatures.
Okay.
They'll run through the petitions and say, yeah, this is good, this is bad, whatever. So I figure 800, I'm good.
Right. Nice buffer. Nice 300 buffer.
Yeah,
300 buffer, yeah.
But I'm at 300, and we're at the second week, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had a lot of help from committee members throughout the county. And at the end of the day, I had 850 roughly.
Okay.
And so it was great. And I literally got...
in that last week, yeah.
Yeah, and I literally got almost 500 personally. So,
wow.
I mean... It was a lot of work, but, again, it's public service. It was worth it because my goal is to win, which I plan on doing, and serving the people.
And so you had your primary.
Correct.
And I saw you got, I don't know, this is the internet, but you won like 96% of the vote. Is that right?
Of the Republican vote, yes. Yeah, that's correct, yeah. It was great. I mean, you talk about
that's
like,
boost. That's
that was a boost.
You got to be watching that. Like, all right,
I got over 41,000 Republican votes.
That is so. Congratulations on that. I mean, that's probably all those shaking hands and meeting everyone.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, it was like I said, it was a great experience, and I got the support of the people, and that just gave me the energy to keep moving forward like a truck.
Yeah. So. I know I went through kind of your kind of campaign and what you're looking to do and your priorities, but I kind of wanted to kick this to you if you want to if we want to talk just a few of them. What's most important to you as Allegheny County Sheriff? What's the most important things on your plate that you want to accomplish? And because I think we could talk. We could talk for
again.
It'd be 3 hours, and Faith would be telling me, "Hey, you got to keep these shorter. I can't be doing." So let's. What are your kind of top 2-3 things?
Yeah,
we can pick them apart a little bit.
Obviously, public safety to me is the most important, and I think that's lacking, especially in Pittsburgh right now. They're understaffed. Our deputies are 120 certified, which means they are sworn law enforcement in Pennsylvania. So I would like to use them more in that capacity, and I will do that. I think we need to clean up downtown. That's one of my biggest problems because I remember I spent a lot of time in a courthouse with trials, and you would leave for lunch and the sidewalk would be 5 people deep. I mean, now it's like a ghost town. You're lucky if you see 10 people on the corner crossing at lunchtime. I mean, it's terrible. And then I'm sure it's worse in the evenings. But my biggest thing is public safety. Secondly, I want to rebuild the emergency response team, which was disbanded by the current, by my opponent. Again, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of visitors in that courthouse annually. And we have no team to respond should emergency arise.
Yeah, so I mean, can we talk about that for a minute? So just kind of explain, what is the emergency response team?
Yeah, emergency response team would respond to any emergency. It could be, someone gets through the security, through the metal detectors, with a weapon. Anything can happen. I mean, just recently up in New York, there was a guy that I think he was stopped at the entry point and stabbed several officers and security personnel. We have no one to respond to that.
Right. And this is like kind
team would be. They
if
would
officers are in the court, there's no one out there.
The deputies are responsible for court security. So period. And so should there could be a hostage situation in the courtroom. There's no response team. What do you do? I mean, it's going to be everyone up. Do what they think is best. I mean, that's to me, that's not a good policy.
Yeah, I mean, you are far more versed in this than I am, but that kind of seems like common sense to me.
Again,
right?
Exactly.
So,
just what I said earlier. It's all about common sense.
I did not realize that was even disbanded, and that we Allegheny County didn't have that.
Correct. Yeah. Now the county police may have it. They used to have it. I'm not sure if they even have it, but they're separate from the sheriff's office.
Okay.
Another thing is the accreditation. My opponent, again, he let that lapse, did not renew it, basically threw it in the trash. My goal was to get that up and running again, because there's a lot of benefits to that.
Yeah, let's talk about why is the accreditation important?
Yeah, I mean, it gives you, well, first of all, the accreditation came about by the Pennsylvania Police Chiefs Association. So those guys run it, they supervise it, and basically there's a process that you have to go through once you obtain it. And then there's annual updates, that they'll do a review. And then I think it's every other year that you renew the actual membership. So some of the things it covers, it reduces the agency's risk and exposure to lawsuits, decreases liability insurance. It highlights the capabilities and competence of the agency, furnishes a solid foundation, and these are right from the site. Just a lot of good things that come out of it, just to make the agency better,
right? And
more
risk management,
right?
Yeah. There might be a little theme here. I mean, that seems like something that would be relatively common sense
to me,
as well. I don't know.
Right? Yeah, it is common sense, and these are things that we need and we should have. I mean, it's not about, we're just going to let it lapse and forget about it, and that's what's going on. Another big thing is training. I mean, and you talk about mental health and stuff, and I still go through the legal updates because I do some safety and security for school, and so I'm required to go through the legal updates every year because I still have a police certification. So I have to keep that up by doing that. And they touch, and it's MOPEC, it's Municipal Police Officers Education Training Commission. So they touch on that annually, but it's just briefly, for a couple of hours during a class. And there's actually a mental health course. It's CIT. The Department of Justice has it as CRIT, which is Critical Response Incident. Intervention Training. And that's actually a 40-hour course.
Okay.
And it benefits the officers and the people they encounter. It helps them to identify mental health issues, trains them on, the better way to deal with that. And, hopefully you could take care of some people and instead of incarcerating them, get them the help they need.
Right.
And,
and I think, the civilians and the officers as well. I mean, it
benefits everyone. Yeah, absolutely. All the way through the whole court system.
Yeah. I think, that's kind of what we talked about. Like, mental health is something that I think affects everyone, and being able to recognize that on the job and have the background and understanding and the information to make the best decision at the time. Absolutely.
Yeah, and like you said, with what you guys are doing with your nonprofit, I mean, you have to be able to. People are coming out now, especially men, because they don't. I mean, and myself, I don't. I'm not going to air out my problems. You know what I mean? Not that I have problems.
100%.
But it's hard.
Yep.
You know, it's not easy for guys to do that because then, oh, you're not a man. You know.
Yep. And I think that's just been so ingrained in
Exactly.
culture for so long that, you know, I've been with so many guys that, you know, that's kind of the stance that they have. And then, you know, one day they just start, you know, they'll start crying. And, you know, we've had guys that have trained at our facility for a year before hey, I'd like to go through the program. I think this could be really beneficial. And, you know, it takes kind of being there, seeing other men and women go through it and, you know, just hearing the stories. And that's what I love about, you know, what we do is like, it's kind of that safe place for camaraderie, the culture that we built. My dad used to play professional football. And I think one of the things that like professional football players have that I see a lot with like our veteran community, and even the first responder community is kind of that once you are done playing football, or once you know, if you're a combat veteran, you come back and now you're you know, living the civilian lifestyle. It's like, what do I do now? Like my identity was in being a professional football player, being in the military, and so now what do I do? And they kind of lose that sense of identity. And so I think one of the things that we're trying to do, if nothing else, is just provide a culture, you know, and a place where they can have that camaraderie and find that next purpose. Because I think that's the big thing with, you know, when people lose their, you know, when you lose your purpose, it's like you're already dead. You know?
I agree with you, and it's funny you say that because I'm kind of at that transition right now.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I still have my PI business. I have some properties that I manage. And that was one of my outlets, too, through my career.
Yeah.
You know, I would go work on one of my properties at the end of the workday. And, you know, it kept me occupied. Hey, you know, you need to get home and, you know, fix this, fix that,
right.
do this, do that. So whatever the case was. But, yeah, I mean, it's hard. And, again, you know, I'm at this point where I feel the best that I've been, you know, and I'm still ready to work. I'm not ready to lay down.
I can tell. I can tell.
I'm ready to go. You know, I'm excited. I'm pumped up about this. And I just want to do good things. And I know I can do good things. I just need the people behind me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm excited. I love having you on. And, you know, I don't know. For what it's worth, you have my endorsement. I don't know, you know, I don't know, I don't know how helpful that is, but I really appreciate you coming on, and I was stoked, and these guys out here were stoked when I told them you were coming on. So, but I wanted to make sure, like, how can people connect with you, with your campaign? How can they get behind you? What help do you need? What can what can the people do?
I need all the help I can get. I'm running a grassroots campaign. I mean, I think it's growing pretty well. I'm getting a lot of support.
Yeah.
I mean, from every angle. Again, the committees out there throughout Allegheny County are great. They've been great, very supportive. If you want to help, I would appreciate it. That would be great because that's how we're going to win this thing. And my website is brian4sheriff.com. View my site. That's what I'm all about. You'll see it.
Yep.
You've been on it. I mean, there's a lot of neat things there.
Yeah. No, it's really well done. Yeah.
And that's what I bring to the table. I'm professional. I'm honest. Integrity through the roof. And transparency. You're going to know everything that you want to know.
Yeah, and I definitely recommend checking out the website because one thing I learned about Brian, he's pretty humble, but he's got a lot of awards and accolades from his time in community service in the military that you know, you might not share on the podcast, but they're on the website. So I encourage you to go check that out and get involved. And anything else that?
I do have my other sites are my Facebook, X, and Instagram, and LinkedIn pages. They're all at Brian, 4 Sheriff AC for Allegheny County. Jump on those sites, check them out. I have my social media person post something daily. There's a lot of interesting things out there. Follow me. That gets the word out, gets us more views.
And we'll go ahead, we'll put your, we'll link your site and socials in the kind of description of the show so people can find them easy. And,
excellent,
we'll go from there.
And of course, you know, like he said, I am very humble, and my worst part of this whole ordeal is is fundraising.
Yeah.
So if you would like to help the campaign, I'd be great.
Absolutely, please. I know the how hard it is to fundraise, and so definitely encourage folks to get involved there. And I think the one kind of big theme, just talking to you a couple times before the show out here and now, is kind of the theme of all this is like treat people the way you want to be treated. The golden rule. And I think if that's our county sheriff, then we're in good hands.
Absolutely. And you know what? We need to do better. We can do better, and then it's just better for everyone all the way around.
Yeah.
We get more visitors in town. We get more businesses back.
Yep.
We need to grow. We don't need to go backwards. We need to move forward,
Yep.
and that's my goal.
That's awesome. Well, Brian, thanks so much for coming. Anything else to share? Any shout outs? Shout out to your wife. She sounds like a great woman supporting you through all this.
Oh, she is.
And,
yeah, she's been great, and she does a great job. And like I said, she's always pushing me out the door. Get to the next one. Get to the next meeting.
I love it.
So that's what we're doing, and we're working hard. So we'd appreciate you guys jumping on, following me, and pass the word on so we can win this election and move Allegheny County forward.
Let's do it. All right. Well, thanks again, Brian. And folks, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in to the Center for Victory podcast of Your Best Day Yet. Remember, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, make today your best day yet.